Fred, absolutely wonderful to see you in
Nice
front of your car.
Number 4.
Your fourth car. How proud of you, considering obviously Mahindra's evolution from Gen 3, where you took over, to be sat here now with the Gen 4 car. Like, how proud of you of that achievement?
Let's be honest, quite proud for 2 reasons. Reason 1 is that it means that we have been able to change the current situation and show that we can deliver good results. It gave additional confidence to the group to go to that stage, which is another level, and where we benefit from the level of confidence that we have built.
Yeah.
And we know what we can do now for the next one, and we hope we will do at least as well as what we are currently doing with Gen 3.5. So Gen 4 is a high level of, let's say, commitment from everyone, and we are very proud that everybody in the group of Mahindra and in the partners around, like Valvoline, like Techem, followed us.
The announcement for the Mahindra Gen 4 participation was a bit late compared to the others. Is that a concern? Because we've got a lot of Mahindra fans who have been so happy that Mahindra have been brilliant this season, and they're worried slightly that the late announcement might mean that there might be a dip in form again. Is that something that is a small concern, or do you think that by the time we get to race 1, that won't be an issue?
No, we were not late, we were just on time.
Okay.
So, no, I think in general, yeah, it could look a little bit late if you compare to what the others have done, but everybody has started much earlier than normally. Yeah. So it means that that project has been anticipated because of the level of complexity, because of the past experiences of Gen 3.5. What we have done on our side is we have kept on the development running, I would say on a, not a hidden side, but a low level side, but as a normal development. And we just really pressed the throttle a bit later than the others, but we never really stopped. Yeah. So that's why we don't consider we are late. We took a challenge of maybe starting the full throttle level a bit later, but the development itself started from the very early stage, and we just had enough confidence to, even starting late full throttle, be on time for delivering the car we need to be performant.
So was it always a talk of always becoming a manufacturer? There was never ever a talk of becoming a customer team. Was that ever considered, or was it full focus was, if we can, we'll be a manufacturer going into Gen 4?
You manage the team as an entrepreneur, so you need to have a B plan, but to make sure that that B plan is not needed. So I wanted to put the full focus on the A plan, which was let's stay as a manufacturer. It's in the DNA of the Mahindra team and the Mahindra company to be a manufacturer. They are engineering electric cars for everybody to buy. We couldn't be someone else than the one designing and developing the car for racing, as we did for the previous generation. So that's something which was kind of a no-brainer, but then you need to build the trust and the confidence on the fact that you can do it at the level that the championship is needing, because it's very high now. So that's what was necessary. Enough time to convince everyone that we could deliver. The fact that Gen 3.5 has delivered so good in season 11 really helped on convincing and giving us the level of confidence. Same for now. We are able to go and we feel that we can do it.
Is that, so when you say convince everybody, going back to that time when I interviewed you in Valencia, and you said this is year 0, I've just done year 0, we've got year 1, 2 and 3 to go. Was that part of this project in terms of convincing the board and the people higher up that this was where I want Mahindra to go? Because that felt like at that time there was a lot of question marks whether around what Mahindra's future was in the championship. And is that extra special to you to see where you've taken the team from point A to point B, and that this is now here, that you feel like it's kind of like a reward for yourself to say, like, I've done my bit, I did what I said I would do for you?
No, I think that's the perfect summary. The goal was there, was to say what we wanted to do, to explain people it's a step-by-step process, and then to deliver so that we can really make sure that we exactly do what we said, and then be sure that we can have the trust of delivering. I think that's part of the business. If you deliver, you get people being confident in the fact that you can deliver for more. If you don't deliver, you are in trouble. In our case, that was the challenge, and that's the one we took. So we exactly explained what we wanted to do on, first of all, redesigning and redefining the team, getting the right people around the table, make sure that we get a 3.5 gen that shows some better result and shows that we are able to perform at the highest level. And then from there, build the fact that we can build with the experience we have, with the team we have put in place, with the knowledge or the lessons we learned from the Gen 3.5 development, we can do something also performant and good for Gen 4.
Yeah, so talk to me about the development of this car then. So I know obviously the announcement was on time, but behind, say, like the others of Porsche and so forth. But how is the development of this car going, and what challenges have you found from developing this new car?
I think, as you said, first challenge was to convince everyone to do it, and this has been done. But what was important is to build on what is Mahindra Racing now. It's a strong team inside our headquarters in Banbury, and some very strong partners and suppliers around us to support. And because we had that global commitment all together, we were quite sure that we can deliver a car which is at the level of performance of the top level racing we want to deliver.
Yeah.
Then the development itself, for the moment, we went more on what did we learn in 3.5, not too early on track, because sometimes you realize that you spend your time on track for dealing with reliability issues and not performance issues. So what we want is to make sure that the moment we come on track, we are getting there with a high level of reliability and we can really build on performance already. So we went on a timing which is, first of all, simulation, a lot of work done on dynos to understand how each part is working, how each part is relevant and reliable and performant. And then we will build all together, go on the simulation again, and then we will go on track. So right now we are in that end of the first phase of simulation, ready to build all the elements together and put them all together to go again on simulation at a full car dyno level, and then we will go on track. So right now we have all the parts being delivered from Spark, from our suppliers, we have the tires, we have the understanding of more or less all the elements, and from that learning we will go on the next stage. But again, it's a step-by-step process.
Does it feel like where you were a couple of seasons ago then, but there's a huge reset? So in terms of where you'll be, you kind of knew you were at the back when you started and you had to move away, but does it feel like we're back to here, but if we get it right, even though that we might have not hit the full throttle straight away, you could still be quite competitive going into the first race? Yeah,
we capitalized a lot on what we learned from the past and what we did in the past, or what was done right and what was done wrong. So what we tried is to keep the right side, and capitalize on it to go quicker. And what we also tried is to correct what we felt was not so good, and particularly in what we did on the Gen 3 one, what failed or what was not successful. We stopped the idea of a black box and we buy something. We wanted to understand all the details. That's what we did in 3.5 already. Understanding the details, then you are able to capitalize and see what you can change, what you can fine tune. Because even if the car is looking so different, there is a lot of commonalities with what has been done in the past, because you just grow every year on the level of performance of each element of that car. You add a bit of complexity, right or left, but that's not like you change everything. You just increase in a very progressive way the performance of the car. So what we have done in the past is definitely feeding what we can do for that one. The fact that we have also increase the level of experience within the team on how to test better, how to understand better the data, how to get better people around the table, how to get better engineers or more engineers, helps on doing more. And at the end, you also have that, everybody speaks about AI all the time, but it's a big tool. It's a major tool for us on accelerating, gaining time on the processes that were taking maybe 3 weeks, maybe we need 5 days. And these type of changes are making our life a little bit different. I don't want to say easier, because it creates also complexity, but it creates complexity on items that we were not even touching before. So we can really deal with the core part of the car in an easy way, and then we can focus on the challenges which are there, either technically or in the way the car will behave in the future, or how we will just adapt our learnings to what the car is able to challenge, and then because we knew, we can anticipate.
In terms of your driver lineup though, because obviously I know you signed them up for 3 years, and that 3 years is coming to the end, I believe, going into Gen 4 era. Are you confident that you'll have Edo and Nick in this car fighting for you again, going in next season?
For the moment, I'm confident that those two guys have to deliver a very good season 12, and that's what they are currently doing. And then I'm confident I will have very good drivers in the car for the future, because what has changed is that maybe people have a bit more confidence in what we can deliver, a bit more trust in the fact that the car we will produce might be competitive, will be competitive.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably a different situation from the situation I was when I had to get Nick and Edo in the car at the end of season 9. It was more difficult.
No, for sure. How excited are you to race this car and the coming months now? Because obviously you've got a big sort of, you've got this season that you're still working on and making sure you've got the best out of the Gen3 Evo car, but also building this car and making sure it's as competitive as possible in the first race. How enjoyable has that challenge been in marrying those two up this year?
I think if you enjoy headaches, it's super enjoyable. But no, let's be honest, right now, we are still very much focused on making sure that season 12 is a success.
Yeah.
Because it's really important to close that chapter. As you said, we had a plan, and that was really important. And this is really important that we show that the plan we sold and explained and started is delivered fully.
Yeah.
Then comes Gen 4 in parallel, because you cannot go on one side and then you wait and you start the other one. And that's part of the magic of motorsport in a way, is that you have to focus and dedicate part of your team on performing on track, and another part of your team start to think about the future and nearly stop looking at what is happening on track, but still have a look, because life is not so easy on track every day. So that's kind of a dual approach is probably very challenging, but very exciting, because this is where, in terms of management, in terms of decision making, how you allocate resources, how you focus some efforts on one side and then go a little bit lower on the other side. That's probably the part where I have a bit more to say than on the purely technical development of the car or the pure racing, because I have very good people to do that. So that's maybe where I have a little bit of additional value, I hope so, to make sure that we have the right balance.
Yeah.
But definitely right now there is not one project more important than the other.
Yeah.
We need to close the chapter of 3.5 very properly, and that means ending in the top 3 at the end of the season. That's really what we would like to achieve. And then we need to make sure that we do a car which is able to do at least the same for the future. And that's something which is challenging, exciting, but part of the reason why we love motorsport.
Yeah, and just to end, that first win, is it coming?
Next weekend?
Next weekend?
Berlin, straight. 1-1. But no, I think...
but that would cap off, right?
No, but it's a good question, because that's what we miss on the... I always say that. I think we made all the steps except one right now, is that little click in the mindset of, yes, we can also win.
Yeah.
And we need that to happen in Gen 3.5, so that we come into Gen 4 with that type of psychological limitation, let's say, for the moment. Just gone away, and we know we can do it. But we know we can do it.
Yeah, that must be the perfect way to round it off, though. Like the win, from coming from where you are to win and then go into this new era. That must put that hopefully, and I do hope, that will put the biggest smile on your face.
Could.
Fred, it's an absolute privilege. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
giving me
much.
some time. Cheers.
Pleasure.